Good afternoon, Codger Biker here, and who'd have thought it? Ludwig is off to rescue a Triumph. So to pick you up on the story, John and I this morning went out to do some droning with John's new Mavic Mini. It's amazing, I must admit. But when we got to where we were going, John's bike wouldn't start. I don't know what's down there, so let's go and see. This is where you need the Tiger now, you see. This could be off-road in a minute. Ow! Oh dear. Oh dear. It's a Triumph, hyper reliable, we all know that, Triumphs. So the unreliable KTM has been home, picked up a start pack and some jump leads, and is going back to help the ever reliable Triumph to start. And I'll put a little poll at the end of this of who thinks John should get a Tiger. The answers are yes and yes. But I thought I'd take the opportunity while I was out to do a little bit of a vlog, just to update one or two things, because I get quite a few questions, which is lovely. Any question I get, you'll note, is withheld. I do that so that I don't miss any, and I answer every single question. So I will answer them, even the ones not in English. I'll do my best. So I thought I'd do a little bit of an update. First update is on the Jivvy screen. A lot of interest in the Jivvy screen. Some people didn't see the follow-up video, but just in case, my thoughts were that it was absolutely brilliant at removing any buffeting, turbulence, call it what you will. All of it went for me. And again, my height, 5'10" in my boots. I do slouch, so my head's probably a bit lower due to my age. And I thought it was absolutely brilliant, even on low setting. I just did not like the way it wobbled around and moved around. It was quite heavy with all the extra metal work and 2 bits of perspex or acrylic. So I've gone back to my favourite, which is the Puig touring screen on the low setting, which I find is perfect for me. But it's not as good, it isn't as good as the airflow. I've realised that now. I've had an airflow on. So I could either put this in its higher setting, which I don't like because it tends to come into your eye line, or go back to the airflow, which I don't really want to do. So that's where I'm at the moment, and I do know that there's no way of repeating these results for somebody who's an inch or 2 inches either way. It seems to be so personal. I think I've mentioned before, I had a test ride with another guy who went there on a 690 Adventure R. And, he said he couldn't have this bike. He said that he never had so much headache in all his life, and I just didn't get that same experience. That was with the stock screen on the same bike, and he was probably 3 inches taller than me. So there doesn't seem to be one answer. You just have to keep trying things, which of course costs money. For me, so far, it's proven to be the Puig touring screen, so that's all I can say. But I know it could so easily be different for somebody else. My second follow-up item is the booster plug. I've ridden with it now for a couple of weeks, I think. Done quite a few miles. My conclusion is, A, it does work. It is a little bit smoother. But 2, it's smoother probably in an area where you don't really need to be any smoother. That's just my opinion on it, of it as an item. It does work, and I've since had a couple of discussions with people, and they said they're getting it anyway, which I can understand, because they pointed out that if you change your exhaust system, particularly with decat, then these already thin mixtures might be too thin. I wouldn't decant my bike anyway, but you know, some people do, so maybe it's a quick way of enriching the mixture. Also, another viewer said, I think he lived in Arizona. Yes, he did. Well, I know it's terrifically hot there, and he was getting one to add a little bit more fuel to cool his engine a little, which you know, makes sense, I suppose. I was looking for low-end smoothness, and there is an improvement in particularly third gear, and just cruise around in third gear 20 to 40 miles an hour relatively smoothly. So there is an improvement in that, but that's not why I got it. I got it because I was hoping that I could change it into a Himalayan kind of rumbler, which I just don't think this engine can do, because it's short throw, very light engine. So perhaps I was expecting too much, but it's still on the bike and it does work. So if you're looking for a little bit of smoothness around sort of 3,000 revs, then it does work. One thing I have noticed, that twice I've had a backfire, which I've never had before. So whether you think that's a good thing or not, I don't know. There's a Tesla, that's a good thing. Whoa, backfire. So I've kept it, I'm leaving it on the bike for a bit longer. It does make things a little smoother, but I still stand by my opinion that it's not necessary. Good morning. There's some more bikes, plenty of bikes coming along, nice to see. Three Thunderbirds are go! I think Ludwig's Thunderbird 2. Hey, he's gone. Oh dear. Dr. John's Triumph is stranded. Here he comes. Ludwig to the rescue. I'm just making a great video about KTM reliability rescuing Triumph. Ah, it's on there. I'm going to have to hold that because it will not stay on its own. I can squeeze it. So as soon as you can get the negative. Ludwig to the rescue. Okay, well, John's back on the road, so that's a brief vlog. Oh, the one thing I remember, Gary L, aka Kev, suggested a bracket to add a little bit of extra support to these quite heavy headlights on these bikes, so I will be having a go at that in the week. It arrived yesterday. I think it's a triple clamp bracket, so that's something to look forward to. So as the world appears to be returning to some sort of normality, I wish you good afternoon. Codger Biker is out. Oh, bacon van, could be good.